Sly is a new Netflix documentary film about one of the most iconic actors of all time, Sylvester Stallone. So today, let's see if it's worth your time. Hey everybody, my name's Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services like Netflix. If you guys are like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming content. For nearly 50 years, Sylvester Stallone has entertained millions with iconic characters and blockbuster franchises, from Rocky to Rambo. This documentary tells his underdog story and its parallels with the characters he brought to life. So earlier this year, we had a 3-part documentary series about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and in that documentary series, he mentioned how he had a respectful rivalry with Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone kind of pushed Arnold Schwarzenegger to do like these bigger blockbuster films. They were competing back and forth on who could have like the bigger franchise in the 80s. And immediately after that documentary series aired, we got the announcement for a Sylvester Stallone documentary. Arnold Schwarzenegger got a 3-part documentary series. This is just an hour-and-a-half documentary film that I wish would have went more in depth with the life of Sylvester Stallone. This really does focus on him breaking into Hollywood and people not taking him too seriously. He had to prove himself. He believed in himself, writing his own roles into films, and the rise of him in Rocky and Rambo, and taking on some comedy roles as well. It doesn't really dive too deep into the life of Sylvester Stallone. It's more focused on some of the films that he was in and reflecting on that and the process of making these films. Whereas that Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary dived deep into his personal life, this really dives deep into his thoughts process on creating characters and how much he dedicated to some of these earlier films that he written, like Rocky, and people not taking him seriously, mostly based off of how he looked. He thought that he could prove himself. He was dedicated to being on screen, and so he took it upon himself to write him into his own films, and we got Rocky and so many iconic Sylvester Stallone films like Rambo as well. So I really did appreciate the approach to this, that it wasn't a documentary about, well, here his Sylvester Stallone's upbringing, and here his life, and here's his children and all of that, and here where he is current. Because we do get glimpses of that, talk about his upbringing and all of that, but most of it is focused on his dedication to making film and writing it, and how people thought about Sylvester Stallone when he first broke into Hollywood. We get interviews with Arnold Schwarzenegger in here. Quentin Tarantino is in here as well. There's some nice perspectives of other celebrities on Sylvester Stallone. This was a nicely filmed documentary as well, implementing interviews in the right time and showing us footage of his movies. The nice pace of his career as it starts to transition from the 70s into the 80s and the 90s, starting to do a little bit of comedy, seeing how popular Rambo was for him and Rocky as well, and people starting to take him more seriously. And I just like how, right as we were more focused on his rise in films, we also started to see more confidence for Sylvester Stallone. And that really started in the early parts of his career with Rocky, and how he became so dedicated and felt like he had the talent, and people didn't really believe all of that. And I really did like that approach to this movie, because you see how much he does love film, but how dedicated he is as an actor as well. So although I wish there was a little more in depth about his life, or maybe even have a 3-part documentary series, I did like seeing the behind the scenes thoughts on creating certain movies. Like we saw the hiring process for Rocky, and the behind the scenes filming of it as well, and interviews about Rocky and Rambo and other movies that he's done as well. It's cool to see what he was thinking about these movies and how he wanted things to be changed and how popular they are now. And other people being interviewed, other celebrities, and how he has and how Sylvester Stallone has had this influence on many action stars currently and action franchises as well. So although it's not as in-depth as the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary, this movie was announced like really shortly after that 3-part documentary series, I did like the different approach to it. It wasn't like the same exact thing. They two big action stars from the 80s, you could easily have like the same exact style to it. But Sylvester Stallone's documentary film, nice approach to understanding what it takes to be an actor and the process of it all. And there's going to be some high moments, there's going to be some low moments as well. Just the way that he speaks about his rise and the movies that he's been in, it's really genuine. It feels very personal and sometimes a little bit, and at times a little emotional as well, as he's going through the decades of all the films that he's been in. So it's really cool to see him and his rise and the behind the scenes look and how dedicated he is. It's a pretty good documentary if you are a huge fan of Stallone and just watching him being filmed. There's a lot of cool things within this film. It's not in depth with his life so much, but more in depth of him being in movies. So before I give you my score for Sly on Netflix, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer actions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit that subscribe button to get it all in one spot. And if you like to see where Sly ranks amongst all the other 2023 releases I've seen this year, follow me on Letterboxd and there you can find my ranking. I'm going to go ahead and give Sly a B-. Thank you guys for checking out my review for Sly, the new Netflix documentary film. Have you guys seen it by chance? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watch the Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.